JonBenét Ramsey. Man, I'll get emotional with this one, but I'm gonna try to hold it together. There were so many stories circulating.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild. There's nothing blocked off. The police don't mark it as a crime scene.
When they found her, there was like pineapples in her stomach, like from 2 hours before she passed away. So
What they find, John gives them, the notepads that are there in the house. Boulder, Colorado police. Hopefully y'all have gotten better over the last 18 years, because that case was absolutely absurd how Boulder police handled it.
We are back.
Episode 28. Let's go, 28.
Almost the end of the year of our first year of doing podcasts.
It's wild. I can't wait for this next season we're about to get into.
I know.
But it's been man, this has been unbelievable.
It's been so much fun.
Get to work with
I
you.
love it.
I mean, wow. Speaking of wonderful and crazy,
Right?
this weekend
pretty
was
crazy.
wonderful and crazy.
Yes, it was.
I mean, we need to get him on the show.
Really, yeah, to tell the story.
We need to get him on the show. I had a little reunion. I hadn't seen it's 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah,
now.
we've had
30.
two
Hadn't seen
reunions.
two guys in 30 years. But this weekend, really, really special reunion. Man, I'll get emotional with this one, but I'm gonna try to hold it together. I'm gonna just tell a quick version, but
Okay.
basically, I just he fell off a cliff, and I caught him.
Were you guys
And-
friends whenever that happened?
Yes, we were great friends. We had just met each other. We were working at Camp Takatoka, so we were camp counselors.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
And so we were taking our cabins up. It was it's in Wagner, which there's a lot of hill. Oklahoma's kind of flat, except you can go some places where it's
Yeah, you
there is
definitely can.
there is some hills and mountains. I don't know about mountains, but
But there's some hills.
there's definitely some big old hills, because we were on one on Lake Fort Gibson, and the ground gave way, and luckily I was at the bottom, and one of those straight God things.
Yeah, because that's
'Cause
crazy
he's
how
yeah.
that strength
I was
just came
I was
over you.
yeah. I was 140-ish. He's 200-ish, and fallen, and it was just, and I just knew that
There's-
I had to protect his head. Is what's going on in my mind. But wow, what a crazy.
If we get him on, you can go in more in detail.
Oh yeah, because it's
Crazy
it's pretty
story.
cool to hear him tell
No,
it.
it's really cool.
pretty cool to him tell it. But hey, this is Talking Back.
Powered by Life 360,
I'm Billy.
and I'm Drew.
So we are gonna go right into. I mean, have you guys seen this? Have you heard about this until it came out?
No, I had not until I heard about it first from you, and then I started seeing all the Netflix stuff.
JonBenét Ramsey, bless her heart, man. I mean,
Like, she seems so cute and like full of life.
6 years old,
So sad.
beauty pad. I mean, there's one part of that movie that really, and we're going to get into that too in just a second. It's so funny because whenever we were, tell this real quick, whenever we were going to the Choctaw Casino in Durant this weekend, my parents always, because they're in our circle with us, because they're getting older, They
Yes.
definitely getting older, and we've got to, we got to take care of your parents out there that have taken care of you.
Yep.
It's one reason why you got to be good to your kids, parents. So anytime it says, Billy has left home, they know that's the greatest time to call, because you
They
can
love
mark
to
your
call.
home, you can mark school, your favorite places on there. But boy, if it says, Billy has left home, they know, he's
They're
in the
like,
car.
Oh, let's call him.
Good time to call my boy and call him up and talk. And so anyways, it's just, it reminded me of, since that is, I mean, first of all, it's our title sponsor, but so
That he doesn't
it
even
just,
have
we
to work.
use it every, I mean, we
we
say this
do.
every week, but we just use it. It's really cool, that my parents can see that, hey, I've left home. They know I'm in the car. That is good talk time. They know that, they can call me anytime. They know that, but they know that's the best time to,
Just kind of lets him know, like, oh, he's not busy. Like,
yeah, he's in the car.
he's in the car. He can talk.
He can talk. We'll call him. But no, Life 360, I'm just telling y'all, man, Life 360 is, it's really cool. So many
There's so
safety
many.
features.
We always have, like, or we all use it every day.
Every day. So, anyways, I had to get that title sponsor in there because they definitely do better.
Yep.
Download it. It's free. So let's get into this. JonBenét Ramsey. So, golly, I remember this story because I'm about 23 years old when all this is happening.
Okay.
And let me just say this too. Let me preface
When
it
did
with
it take
this.
place? Like in the 90s?
96.
Okay.
December of 96. December 26th to be exact.
Okay.
Of 1996. So, 96, we're kind of pre-social media.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily in, the realm of TikTok for sure. I mean,
Yeah, definitely not.
I don't even think Facebook. I don't think any of those were around. But the media, I'm just telling you right now, it caused a circus like you would not believe.
So that just shows the media can always twist.
And don't
turn
believe
and-
everything you hear and see out there.
You can't.
Do your research. I mean,
Because anybody can put anything out there, so you never know. You have to take with a grain of salt what you're.
there were so many stories circulating.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But so let's get into it. December 26th. The parents are John and Patsy Ramsey.
Yep.
And Patsy wakes up 5:30, a little early.
Which, like, the night, it kind of starts the night before, right? Because.
It does. I mean, it definitely. I mean, we know that
but
if
I feel like the backstory that I heard was kind of just like they had a huge house and like they always decorated for Christmas. They like would have tours of their house. Did you hear that? Like it was all decorated, so.
But I could see that because that place was like a.
So that kind of is like a little bit important to know. They would have like tours, like they would let strangers too probably just come in their house and like look around because how like decorated it was for Christmas and stuff.
It was wild. I mean, and what I mean by wild is, I mean, you could get lost in there.
Yeah, they have a very strange, like.
Yeah, it was like 6,000 or 8,000 square foot.
Yeah,
but
and then it's
weird
like 3 stories,
setup.
and then the basement, which they were on. I can't remember which story is which, but is the top story like the mom and dad's room, middle one's like the kids, third is like the kitchen and stuff, I think, and then the bottom is like the basement.
Yep.
But it's very like you can go find videos of the layout, and it's like a very odd layout.
Yeah, you easily get
lost
lost in there. Easily get lost. So Patsy wakes up that morning, comes down the circular stairs, and she finds the note on the stairs. I think before anything.
Right.
And so, do you have a little bit of that note? Because the note is so weird and comes into play so much in this whole.
And then I don't know if it comes to play or if this, because I've also heard a lot of things on TikTok and the media too that I'm saying. So also might not even be true. But I've also heard that like she woke up in like the same clothes from the night before, so people don't know if maybe she was drunk or anything like that. Because she was in like really nice clothes and she woke up in the same ones apparently. Which not that like I don't know. It's just another little thing that she could have been drunk or she could have just.
They were out.
Yeah,
I know they were out that
at a
night.
Christmas party,
Christmas party.
Because on the night before, on the
and that
way
was
home,
Christmas Day.
Yeah, on Christmas Day they went to that Christmas party, and then she fell asleep on the way home, and they carried her up to her room.
Carried JonBenét?
Yeah, up to her room while she was still sleeping.
Okay.
And so then that was how the night, and then they all just kind of went to bed.
And everybody goes to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty late night.
Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent. So they represent a small foreign, like some type of business, I guess. We represent your business, but not the country that it serves, I think, or not the something that it serves.
the contour that it serves, I think is what it was. I mean, country. I mean, yeah, maybe
something they don't represent, but not the something that it serves. At this time, we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, sorry,
it's hard
she is
to read
safe
it.
and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000
Let me
will
pause
be.
you right there. $118,000.
Which is very.
Hit that. Odd.
Like, why
so
would you
odd.
not say even
100,000.
I feel like, or 100.
500,000. A million.
Even 120, but not 118.
But 118. Okay,
it's
go
strange.
ahead.
So, $100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. Make sure that you bring an adequate size.
You can skip
something to the bank. Yeah. When you get home, you'll put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange an earlier delivery of the... Which I need to find the next page.
Yeah.
Delivery of the money, and any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try. It is up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC.
That's what I
Sorry,
just
read
yeah.
That, but the words are so interesting.
They are interesting, but Victory and SBTC, 118,000. We are a group.
Has anyone tried to figure out what SBTC means?
I know.
I haven't heard about that at all.
I haven't either. That's a good question. Very good question. My next thing. So right after she gets that letter, she calls the cops, and she's like, she runs to her bedroom first, and she sees that she's gone. So she immediately, the 911 call is made. She's calling, you got to get over here. My daughter has been kidnapped. And so the police come over.
Right.
Now, here's the deal. They're in Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado police, hopefully y'all have gotten better over the last 18 years. Because that case was absolutely absurd how Boulder police handled it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think, didn't they just wait there because she was supposed to receive a call when between 8 and 10 a.m.?
And they did.
They had all of their friends and family.
They invited people over.
Invited them over. They were passing the note around, which some people say could be so other people's DNA would get on the note and everyone touching it and stuff. And then so they didn't get any call by 1, right?
No. No call came.
And then eventually they all start or did just the dad start looking around the house, right?
So, yep. Yeah. Dad starts walking around the house. I mean, nothing. What police officer does this? How does police?
This end up being how they find her?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he goes downstairs and he moves. He finds the body.
It seems like some people say it seems like he went straight to it, kind of, because
because it's in a crazy room
and
down
then
that basement.
He didn't turn the light on until after he found her. Apparently, that's what I heard. Which is also strange because you know right where it is, you don't need to even see, really, kind of. So just a little red flag there, I feel like.
So here he comes carrying her upstairs.
Yeah.
And she was, what you could visibly see was she was choked, and she still had something wrapped around her neck, and they call that something.
I know they do. I forget what it's called, but you can
pull it,
adjust it to tighten and loosen around them.
Yep.
neck,
And it
pretty
was like a
much.
broken paintbrush.
Yeah, which was
that-
the mom's paintbrush.
Yes. Yes.
But I mean, that stuff was in their house. But
Yeah.
also, on the way from like carrying her back up, he was like met with one of the officers, and he was like, "Is she dead?" And the officer said yes, I guess. And the officer has done like interviews, and she says that I think she was saying she gets like a very unsettling. She got a very very unsettling like look from him that she felt like none of them were safe after that. Like none of them were gonna leave the house after that.
Yeah, so weird. And immediately here comes because now word's traveled. Now word is out because they've invited people over. They've got their friends
Yeah.
over, families
Family
over.
passing the note around. It's like
There's nothing blocked off. The police don't mark it as a crime scene. I mean,
which is crazy.
anybody's coming and
the
going.
fact that I don't know that they were there that early, and then after one, I guess the dad finds her before they do, before the police. I don't know. It's all kind of strange.
So one of the crazy stories that immediately comes out is it has to be the parents because there was no footprints into the house first, which I guess they notice this before everybody starts coming over.
Yeah, because it snowed, so they were
Yep.
saying.
So here's the weird part about it. It's a dusting. So there's a little bit of dust everywhere, but there's not even any snow like in the backyard. So it's not even enough to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like, how's
'Cause there was like a
anybody-
window in the basement that was broken, and they were saying that whoever it was didn't go through that window because of the snow, and then also because there was a spider web right there that somehow couldn't have been there if they went through it. But it only takes spiders around an hour to make a web, so somebody still could have went through it, and the snow could have fallen over the footsteps that they walked on.
There's a suitcase that
Yeah,
was set.
and there was like some DNA on it, and apparently that was some older brother from a different marriage.
Yeah.
It was his DNA on it, and he was for sure not linked to the case.
Yeah. John did have another family, and a crazy thing, like in 92 or 93,
His other daughter.
his
died,
other
right?
daughter dies in a car wreck.
Was that like at all sketchy, or was it for sure just?
No, but now they want to turn it to be sketchy.
Oh.
Now they're saying,
Which
so,
is sad. Yeah.
Yep. Immediately they're trying to, John is a, he's doing nasty stuff to his daughter. He's, and now they're saying this one, he did this. I mean, I couldn't even imagine they're bringing up, obviously I don't know inside, but I feel like I want to believe him that he is a good guy and all
I mean,
this.
I don't really get bad vibes from the dad. I've had like the least amount of red flags I feel like from him, from what I've heard. More red flags about the mom, it seems like.
Yeah.
But the dad did deny like a lie detector test, which is a little sketchy. But the mom also like didn't want to see the what's like the report called with the damages done, like everything that was.
The toxology, the autopsy.
I don't think she didn't want to look at that. But I get some people are like, you could just be a really hurt mom and like it would hurt you to just even look at that. But
But I've got to, if we don't have the kill, if we don't know what happens to,
yeah, I just feel like there's no way. Like I would not want to look at that, but
don't want to.
it more just seems like did you do it and you don't want to like look at what you did at the same time.
Now let's bring up that at this time, Patsy, she had just beaten stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Yeah, so some people were saying she was.
So she's probably, she's having a rough time as it is.
So she did get drunk the night before. Like she's going through a lot. Maybe she could have just fallen asleep in her clothes for the night before. She's going through a rough time.
Now here's what. Okay, so little JonBenét, she was in. Let's bring up. She was in, all these beauty pageants,
which were very like sexualized for sure, almost.
Yep.
I feel like the stuff they were having him do, I was like, yeah, that does look a little.
Now, I will say this. So,
That's just how
Geraldo,
they are,
everybody
kinda.
remembers, you probably don't remember Geraldo,
Yeah.
but if you're my age out there, you know who Geraldo is. He had a show at this time. And so, on this show, on the Geraldo show, they do a mock trial of if John and Patsy are guilty. So, they have like a prosecuting attorney up there showing all the evidence. They brought this one lady in, and this one lady, they're like, what did you see in this video that just, and she's like, I saw JonBenét masturbating with herself for an hour. And we're like, what? Okay, because I'm like, this is a 6-year-old. Where is this on video? So they bring up the video in Netflix. JonBenét picks up a saxophone and she's dancing around with the saxophone, and in no way was she now. I mean, could you have turned something into and say, like you said, those pageants? Man, I don't like
I
them
don't
at that
think that
age.
she knew what she was doing at all, though.
If you do it at 6 years, no,
Yeah.
she hadn't. But
No
that
idea,
saxophone never touched her. She was dancing around in kind of a, I mean, but even that dance. If y'all go watch the Netflix, you can see the video.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I didn't. If I would have watched that, the last I would have been like is, oh my gosh, she's masturbating.
Yeah, and I feel like if it was anywhere close to that, I don't think they would put that on Netflix either.
No.
Because that would be like, yeah.
No. But nobody, I expected Geraldo to step in and be like, or wait, what did you just say about this video?
Yeah.
But now, Netflix, there's an editor, so we cut and we roll, and maybe he did, but it didn't show him do it. And so, and they built their whole case kind of around that, that sexualization, evidence, and there was a lot.
I know, like, it could have been someone that was like a child predator and somehow got into their house. I feel like they would have had to have been in there for a while, but they did have their house open a lot because of all these decorations, so I do feel like someone could have easily been in a house that big for probably a while without anyone noticing.
Yeah.
If it's like a huge house and only that family's living there.
And on a very sad note, Patsy, she passed away in 2004, I think it was.
Oh, really?
She died in 2004. So she died before she ever, because we still don't know. That's the crazy thing about this.
I know, because I can't tell. Sometimes I feel like the parents are suspicious, and I feel like it could just be a random intruder that was in their house.
I know.
And then, about the pineapple thing, which I don't really have a theory on it, but pretty much they were just saying that, like, so their story is, like, the parents is just that they came home from the Christmas dinner and she was already asleep.
Okay.
And then they walked her to bed and she went to sleep. But when they found her, there was, like, pineapples in her stomach, like, from 2 hours before she passed away. So there's just a lot of speculation of if the mom doesn't remember, if she went down there for a snack and got some pineapple or something like that. Nobody really knows, so they just talk about that. It's a very random thing.
Very random. Very random thing.
The mom was very defensive on standing on she did not feed her any pineapple and she doesn't know where that came from.
So yeah, 2006, 2006, Patsy died.
And then we didn't even talk about the notes either.
Yeah, I know. So that's the weird thing about this. Yeah. So they take that note to the police station to try to do some some handwriting analysis.
Yeah.
And what they find, John gives them, the notepads that are there in the house. But the odd thing about Patsy's notebook is that ransom note, one was started in the back of that. So it's like whoever wrote this wrote it, and they're like, oh, messed up, turned it over. Yeah, and
noted a few times and messed up. But also, I feel like her handwriting did look really similar to the real note.
I know. I mean,
so that's kind of. But some people say it didn't. But I think it looked pretty similar. And then also a lot of people suspect the brother.
So that's a sad deal.
Yeah,
I feel like. First of all, he's 9 years old.
Yeah, and I guess some people are saying he might have some I feel like from the videos, I think he was acting strange, but also he's really young, and I feel like
he's 9 years old, and so get this. So they're walking one time. Him and Patsy are in the grocery store. The tabloid magazine says the brother killed JonBenét. He sees that he's so Patsy's like, I've got to explain to this 9-year-old that, honey, there's so many liars and
that's horrible.
Yeah,
and some people I guess one time he hit her in the head with a golf club, which I don't know if it was intentional or not, but also he was probably way even younger than that. And sometimes siblings are just mean
because we do have to point out that there was a blow to the she had blunt force trauma to the brain.
But a lot of people are saying it was so much that they don't even know how he would have caused that much trauma to her head. But I feel like he could have definitely hit her in the head with a golf club, but siblings are just, they do stuff
in 2016 CBS actually came out with the theory that she stole his food and he went after her and killed her. over food. Now, granted,
and then people
he
say, like,
sued.
the parents are covering up.
Yeah, he sued CBS, and they settled out of court for an unknown amount, but it was, so.
And then I feel like, I don't know, I can't tell if I think it was because I don't have any for sure signs that say it was the parents, but there's a lot of, like,
There's so much. So
but
let's
then I
bring
also
this
feel like
up,
it could be
too.
a random person, yeah.
So what we keep finding, though, too, is all the DNA samples that they keep running. Like, they've ran everybody that's been a prisoner, and nobody's matching. And so then they start bringing up some of these guys that, there's a guy that broke into a house similar through a window, essays a little girl, and I think the mom walks in, and luckily, so she's alive and okay, but they get the guy, they arrest him. So they're thinking, they arrest guys like that, and they start trying to pin them, put them in there. But one guy actually starts calling one of the police detectives. Sure about this guy?
Was he a prisoner?
This is a weird guy.
I don't think I heard about it, but I was reading something about.
So he was definitely a sick man. And he was actually, at this time, he was from the U.S., but he actually moved to Taiwan, I think it was, and was teaching at like an all-girls school and then an elementary school. But he would call this police officer. And he would see there's things in this phone call that only the kid, there were certain things that police didn't release in this. And he knew things that it was not out in the public. And so immediately they go over to, let me make sure that I am in the right country here. I want to make sure, let's see. Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay.
He's in Bangkok, Thailand. John Mark Carr. They arrest him. But he told an American investigator that he drugged JonBenét, sexually assaulted her before the accident, killing her. And when you hear his words, when you hear these phone calls, Netflix plays them, it makes your stomach curl. I mean, it's disgusting. It's sickening. They put a big warning on that episode because it's just stuff that it's like, why are you even? Yeah, what's going on? So immediately they take his DNA. No match.
Yeah, because it's like really sad, but I guess they did find like DNA in her underwear.
Yes. They even went to the manufacturer that made that underwear.
Yeah, they were like, which is crazy to think they even.
Now here's my thing though, Boulder Police. If you work for Boulder Police, I know that you probably weren't involved in the JonBenét Ramsey, and y'all have made some improvements.
They're not better now. Yeah.
Because here's my thing though, and this is what really scares, and I think that's where we missed the boat. I don't know if they handled that case like they handled the DNA. We may never know. I mean, that DNA could be just completely jacked up,
like tampered with. And stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Now, John, to this day, is trying to open up where they can basically, start taking new DNA, start trying to figure something out with this DNA. And even like if you've done the 23andMe's and things like that, I mean, they're trying to get people's DNA and try to match it somehow, some way in this database system. I know that is what he is trying to do now. Let's see, in a petition sent to Colorado Governor Jared Polis, John Ramsey asked the governor to intervene and let an outside agency take over DNA testing in an ongoing investigation. So, and that was in 2022. So obviously we're still, November, the Boulder Police Department and Boulder County District Attorney's Office announced they will be consulting with the Colorado Case Review Team in 2023 to help further the investigation. So hopefully.
I just feel like it's such a different age than we are now, like how so many who were in that house after. I feel like so much evidence could have been tampered with, even if it was on accident or
so
on purpose.
much.
Just like
So
Even just
much.
the police not being the one to find her, I feel like a lot.
What was weird about that, the Mark Carr guy that they found in Bangkok, Thailand, he was so concerned about, he wanted to apologize to Patsy before she died. When he found out she died, he got super emotional and said, I will never be able to hear her tell me I forgive you. I mean, it's
I feel
just
like he's just like psycho.
weird
Then.
stuff.
Like,
He could be very psycho.
his DNA doesn't match. It's so strange to want to involve yourself in something like
But
that.
and there were several people that there's obviously there is sick people that try to take credit for murders and
That's
things
so
like
weird.
that they I mean somebody was gonna, he said, I'll admit to it if I can get 3 meals a day. I mean and that's sad. That's really sad when,
because then it just like sets the case back and makes
yeah.
people think you found answers you haven't. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine John, the stepkids in this, her, and her brother,
I know.
now. I mean, these people
Because I think he was like went to some like psychiatric hospital or something for a little.
have to, bless his heart, have
Especially
to.
to see that on a magazine when you're so young. Even.
Yeah.
Like accused of your own, which I don't really know what to believe. So I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts because
I mean, this is one of the wildest cases. If you hadn't seen the Netflix show, go check it out.
feel like
It's 3 episodes, and it is a wild, wild roller coaster ride. I just couldn't imagine if I'm John and he's I want him so bad to be innocent. Obviously, nobody knows this, but but I can't, if he is innocent, and I hope he is, I can't imagine what he's feeling because of the accusations that he gets. And then having to deal with his daughter that died in a car wreck, how he sexually assaulted her. He had one daughter stand up for him in the Netflix documentary. She's come out and she's like, I think I would know my dad. And my dad is nothing like that. My dad is one of the most amazing fathers ever. And
I really hope to believe that.
I know. Like I said, Patsy seemed a little off, but that could go back.
Like she was also on like a lot of.
Had to be on some medication.
She said she was very, but I mean, after you see something like that happen to your daughter, you can't even really like.
Now there was one cop.
One
cop. I got to bring this back before we let y'all go too. There was one cop. I think it's Scott, and this jackhole has actually written a book and profited off of his investigation. That should not even be allowed. If you work this case, you shouldn't be able to leave this case and go and write a book
when yourself nothing
and profit off this, because what his claim is that she peed the bed and Patsy got so mad at her, just in a fit of rage, she killed her because she peed the bed.
Then there's no evidence proving that. I've never even heard
none.
That.
And then they're talking about there's not even pee on the sheets.
Yeah, what? So
there's
where
not
did you
even
get that?
On the sheets or anything. And this guy, they face off with him on a popular talk show host show
really?
in the series.
Yeah, I feel like it's so easy to also just like look at how they were acting so weird, and sometimes it is like does seem like they're acting weird, but also like I feel like I don't know how we would act if that happened to something like you're probably just so like distraught and like something like she didn't cry, but people handle like grief so differently and stuff doesn't feel real till it does, and like. So it's hard to judge just based on how they're acting on their interviews and stuff.
And there's one very cool investigator on there, and in 2010 he sadly passed away. He was older to begin with, but he passed all of this info down to his kids and said, please continue to clear the name of John and Patsy.
Cool.
So, this investigator is a stud. He's a badass.
So that feels good to know, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, so he actually quit. He said, if you guys are not going to let me get up there, I'm going to just basically do my own PI work for them. So, I mean, he stood up and gave up his job for them.
That's crazy.
Because he believed in them so much. Yeah. Yeah, because he had no ties to this case, no nothing. But hey, go watch it. Thank you guys for listening to this. I don't
have a for sure consensus to it at all.
It is crazy.
What do you think happened?
Yeah. Tell us what you think.
What do you think happened, or do you even know?
I think it's that Carr guy. I think it's the car, and I think the Boulder police.
Wait,
I
who's
think
the car guy?
the guy that they found in Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, you think it was him?
I really do. I think John Mark Carr. I think John Mark Carr. He told them things, like I said, that only the killer knew. Only the killer knew. How did John Mark Carr find all this out? Where's his handwriting at? Did we see some samples from him? He brought up. I mean, he was very, very detailed in telling all of this stuff. Talked about the duct tape, how he even got that off to put it on her, because there was duct tape on her mouth.
Yeah.
He got that off of there.
The duct tape had some red clothing on it, I guess, and I guess the mom did have clothing like that, but at the same time the duct tape was used from their house, so it could just have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with how the paintbrushes, the moms they still could have just used all the stuff from their house if they were in there.
I agree. I think it lies on John Mark Carr, and I think that Boulder police, I think somebody, whoever was responsible for the DNA, let it get jacked up, and that's unfortunate. And I don't know that we will ever know if that's the case.
But then it just, I feel looks like, because I feel like it looks like they paid him off or something.
I'm telling you right now, there was a lot of shady stuff going on in that police department at that time. Because they wanted to pin it on them so bad that they would just disregard everything else and just go right to them instead of doing your due diligence.
I just feel like it was very sketchy, the note and stuff, and just a lot of it just seems so sketchy.
Who writes a ransom note like that, though, and why? Why?
It's so strange. I don't see anyone really doing that. But I just don't know. Because, if it was that car guy, he seems like he's pretty psycho. So, whoever did that is sick, obviously. And
yeah.
Because probably adrenaline is racing, and you're probably going crazy. So, who knows what they would do. But that note just seemed very odd.
Very odd. And Patsy found it. But if it was planted like it said, it was clearly on the steps that she comes down the steps every morning. Too. So, man, I want to hear some theories out there. I want to hear some conspiracy theories. What y'all got?
I have no idea. Yeah.
What y'all got? All right. You guys be good. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. We will see you
next week.
Next week.